Hello, this is Max. A group of people went to an island where they encountered a dangerous demon. You can subscribe to the channel after watching. It helps us a lot in realizing the content. Many years ago, in the Central American village of Mongano, a tribe once thrived in abundance. However, when the community faced starvation, the village's piñata maker, Hunuma, created a crucial weapon to combat drought and famine. As a deadly disease spread, the village shaman, Inhabited, pleaded with angry spirits to depart. Unfortunately, as Hunuma continued crafting animal-like piñatas, the village's suffering persisted. Ultimately, Inhabited resorted to sacrificing a pig, using its heart as the core of a piñata capable of attracting and containing evil energy. Hunuma employed one of the tribe's sacred stones to harness spiritual energy and imprison wickedness within the piñata. With the piñata nearly complete, Inhabited and the tribe embarked on a long journey to a sacred ritual site, while Hunuma applied finishing touches to his creation. At the tribe's sacred river, Inhabited conducted a spiritual ritual, believing that their misfortune stemmed from their sins. Each villager stood before the demonic piñata to purge the evil within them, then touched a good fortune piñata to complete the cycle. Inhabited pushed the corrupted piñata down the river, away from the tribe, and the villagers celebrated by breaking open the good fortune piñata. Meanwhile, the malevolent clay creature drifted farther away, sealed by lightning. With immense evil energy trapped inside, it had to remain untouched, lest it release havoc upon mankind. In the present day, a group of Woodson University students eagerly gathers for an island event, engaging in water gunfights and beachfront races. Among them, Doug inquires about his friend Kyle's separate arrival from his supposed girlfriend, Tina, who had broken up with him. Carmen asks Tina if she has spoken to Kyle, to which Tina responds that he has already made his decision. Event judges and Woodson alumni Paul and Monica welcome fraternity and sorority students to the 12th annual Cinco de Mayo scavenger hunt, instructing them to set up camp a short distance away. Julie asks about nearby bathrooms, expressing disbelief when Monica mentions a porta potty. After setting up camp, the students participate in an initiation ceremony involving drinks. Paul reveals that the scavenger hunt's goal is to collect undergarments scattered across the island, with a $20,000 prize, half of which will go to charity and half to house improvements for the winning sorority and fraternity. They must return to camp within an hour or face deductions. Pairs receive bags for their collectibles and a chance to score booze from island piñatas. The judges pose trivia questions, with Tina correctly identifying Cinco de Mayo as the Mexican Day of Independence. Kyle impressively answers another question about the Franco-Mexican War, earning cheers from his friends. Participants are handcuffed into teams, and despite Kyle and Tina's objections, they are paired together. Tina and Kyle remain behind at camp while the others rush into the forest at the start of the scavenger hunt. A struggle ensues as Kyle attempts to remove their handcuffs, causing Tina's irritation. They engage in a heated argument, with Kyle insinuating Tina's interest in a study partner. Tina suggests waiting until the scavenger hunt concludes, and Kyle mockingly agrees. Meanwhile, Bob leads Lisa to a stash of undergarments and reveals a key to their handcuffs, pressuring her to remove them. Later, they bring out a blunt to share, and Lisa takes a hit. Soon, both of them are laughing as they collect the scattered undergarments. While gathering undergarments, Lisa spots a clay figure in the water and pulls it out, falling back in laughter from the potent aroma. She calls her partner, mistakenly calling him Bill. Showing Bob the piñata, Lisa becomes curious about its contents due to its aged appearance. After failing to crack it open with a wooden stick, they search for a rock. As they leave, the piñata's eyes ominously glow red. Lisa hands Bob a rock, and they share a kiss, excited about breaking the piñata. Bob proceeds to hit the clay creature until it cracks open, releasing malevolent spirits. Suddenly, they hear a strange howling noise that startles them. Nearby, the crack on the piñata's surface lights up as Lisa and Bob are surrounded by a screeching sound. Confused, Lisa starts worrying about their actions and asks Bob for reassurance. A terrifying growling noise fills the air, making them anxious. They look around, following the sound. Suddenly, the piñata rushes toward Bob, brutally striking him with a stick. It continues to assault Bob, channeling the evil spirits within. When it turns toward Lisa, she runs off screaming, leaving her deceased friend behind. Back at camp, Kyle attempts to make amends with Tina, despite their ongoing quarrel. He persuades her to join the scavenger hunt, emphasizing his fraternity's 3-year winning streak. Kyle threatens to drag her along if she refuses, and she reluctantly agrees. Somewhere in the forest, Larry uses a GPS and a beta shy map to locate their house's hidden stash. Connie follows him indifferently until Larry hears an unusual noise. Connie calls out, but Larry, not wanting to alert others, leads her away, narrowly avoiding the path of the demonic piñata. The team hides, waiting for possible competitors to leave when Lisa suddenly appears, hysterically recounting Bob's demise. However, her story is met with laughter as they find it unbelievable that a piñata could be responsible for something so grave. Larry notices Lisa's strange odor, and Connie questions how she removed the handcuffs. They suspect Lisa of sabotaging their scavenger hunt to secure a win, prompting her to flee in a panic. Meanwhile, the piñata spots another group of students who mockingly avenge Bob by breaking an alcohol-filled piñata. They toast to their success as the demon glares at them. At the camp, Lisa describes the events to the judges, suggesting they leave the island. At Beta Chi's hidden location, Larry and Connie discover a stash of undergarments and excitedly fill their bags. However, when Larry looks around for the shovel, the piñata ambushes them from behind, hitting Connie with the shovel. As it strikes Connie, Larry tries to escape, but their handcuffs keep him tethered to her, leaving him helpless as he screams. Meanwhile, Monica and Paul discuss Lisa's story and ride their ATVs to investigate. In another part of the forest, Tina explains to Kyle how she slapped her study partner, who kissed her. She retrieves undergarments while sitting on his shoulders and urges her to move faster. The judges unlock Kyle and Tina's cuffs and inform them about the situation. They instruct the pair to return to camp and send the signal to end the game, providing them with a walkie-talkie for communication. Shortly after, Monica and Paul search the island and stumble upon Bob's lifeless body hanging from a tree, indicating that something more sinister than an animal is at play. Elsewhere, Jake and Julie spend time together, unaware that there's a piñata hanging behind their backs. It lowers itself, targeting them. However, Julie suggests continuing to count their collection to ensure their victory. They count 272 undergarments before noticing the clay piñata nearby. The pair approaches the piñata, and Jake attempts to crack it open, but the demon intervenes and liquidates him. Julie screams in fear as the piñata turns its attention to her. Later, Kyle signals all the teams to return to camp, surprising Doug and Carmen. Although it's not the end of the day, they quickly gather their belongings and head back. At the camp, Lisa reflects on the horrifying events of the day, rocking back and forth. Nearby, Kyle apologizes to Tina for jumping to conclusions and expresses his longing for her. They share a kiss and embrace, reconciling over their earlier misunderstanding. In the forest, Paul contacts Kyle through the walkie-talkie, instructing those at the camp about Bob. Paul directs Kyle to bring the others to the beach and leave the island once they have a full boat, while those left behind can take the second one. The judges then ride their ATVs to resume searching for the students. Shortly thereafter, Kyle urges Lisa to recount the events involving Bob, even though she doubts he'll believe her. Meanwhile, Doug and Carmen are lost and struggling to return to the camp. At the beachfront, life vests float near the shore, and Kyle, Tina, and Lisa find their damaged boats. Kyle notices hoof-shaped footprints on the sand, sparking his curiosity about the attacker. In the woods, Paul and Monica are ambushed by the piñata, forcing them to speed up. Monica hits a tree trunk, and Paul rushes to help her as the demon approaches. Unfortunately, it catches up to them, but Paul sacrifices himself to distract the piñata, allowing Monica to escape. Later that night, by the bonfire, Tina, Kyle, and Lisa discuss the identity of the attacker. Kyle asks Lisa about the piñata's features, and she recalls its red eyes. Tina is annoyed by the topic, but Kyle shares a Mexican folktale related to Lisa's story, which describes Mangano's suffering and salvation. Lisa confirms the theory, narrating how she and Bob cracked open the piñata and heard the villagers' grief. Meanwhile, the piñata continues to roam with its menacing red vision. Simultaneously, the campers hear a sudden noise and encounter Doug and Carmen. However, Tina, Kyle, and Lisa remain serious, concerned about the missing others. The next morning, the group discusses their next move. Lisa wants to leave the island, but Tina and Kyle want to find the missing friends. Doug agrees with Lisa, but Kyle argues for staying together to rescue their friends. They search the forest, but the demon spots them. The group finds a wounded deer, and Lisa fails to convince them to return to camp. Doug briefly pauses to fix his shoe, leading to an argument. Suddenly, a rope ensnares Doug, pulling him into a tree. With the piñata watching, Carmen and Lisa decide to return to camp while Tina and Kyle continue their search. Tina and Kyle realize the creature is heading to camp and rush back to warn the others. Lisa and Carmen head back as well, and Lisa takes a restroom break. As she finishes, she sees the piñata attacking Carmen from behind. Tina and Kyle hear Lisa's screams and find her, but Lisa panics and runs off, forcing Tina to chase after her. Kyle encounters Monica instead. Back at camp, Lisa investigates a whistling tent and is attacked by the piñata. Tina arrives and the demon chases her. She falls but manages to escape. Kyle and Monica reach the meeting spot and wait for Tina. Meanwhile, Tina is pursued by the piñata and Kyle helps her hide. He asks about Lisa's whereabouts, but Tina doesn't know. That night, the piñata continues to survey its surroundings. Kyle decides to use rocks to distract the creature while they search for the judge's ATVs. They plan to hunt the piñata instead of being hunted. The group finds the ATV, and Kyle siphons gasoline into their canteens. The demon approaches but narrowly misses them. They escape, and Monica suggests using Paul's body as bait. They set up a trap with a bonfire in the camp. The piñata detects Monica's voice and approaches, falling into their trap. They capture it in a sack and set it on fire. However, it escapes and attacks Monica and Tina. Kyle defends himself with a frying pan, and Tina prepares a flaming glass bottle. When the piñata explodes, evil spirits spread out, setting their camp on fire. Soon after, campus police arrive on the island, and Tina, Kyle, and Monica are interviewed. They struggle to explain the unbelievable events they experienced. If you are interested in such films, please proceed to the next video on the screen, and also share your thoughts about this film in the comments. Give us a like and subscribe. Goodbye.